Precure is celebrating 20 years in 2023, and who's better to talk about this amazing franchise than one of the producers that was and still is with Precure since the Futariwa Precure days. Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video we are going to check out a special interview with Takashi Washio, a producer that has been working on Precure since Futariwa Precure. Yes, the first season. And he is obviously back in Hirogaru Sky Precure as a producer as well. This interview was published on Oricon, a news website in Japan, and it has been kindly translated by Inu. Inu, thank you very much. This is a very interesting outlook into one of the minds, one of the masterminds of the Precure franchise. So let's go. The headline of this interview is 20 years of Precure has always tackled gender equality while consistently taking the approach of children first. The first question was, Precure has been regarded as an anime with transforming heroines. Explain the 20th series, Hirogaru Sky. What was the reason for choosing heroes as the theme of Precure? Washio answered, in fact, the concept of pretty cure equals hero has existed since the series began. I think the image people had of heroine was that someone who protected a hero or played a sub-role. I have always felt uncomfortable about this, but it is true that I have avoided the term hero or heroine by referring to it as an action anime featuring girls as the main characters. Now that we live in a society that demands the elimination of gender inequality, I feel that the time has finally come to clearly label Precure as a hero. The second question was, Tokusatsu is for boys, while transforming heroines or magical girls is for girls. How did you deal with this division of children's programs? Washio said, at the time, I wasn't really conscious of that. Although Precure started as an animation for girls, surprisingly, it had a large percentage of viewership from boys between the ages of 4 and 6. Although most of the viewership came from girls, we were not concerned about that. However, we were determined to create a work that would appeal to all the children. Another question was, the 15th series, Hugto Precure, had lines such as, there is a hero in everyone's heart, and boys can be princesses too. Was this a message that boys don't have to be bound by gender norms and that it is okay for them to like Precure too? Washio answered, I would have to ask the staff at the time, but I am certain that this is what was meant. I think the gender consciousness that the first director, Daisuke Nishio, has had been passed down in the series from generation to generation. In particular, I took special care with the dialogue of the adults close to the main characters and was careful not to have them say things like, because you're a boy or because you're a girl, you should do this. In this interview, there are certain questions that have some sort of an adult theme. So we decided to not add the direct translation to those questions because there might be some themes and some words that might not appeal to everybody. And since there are people that watch this channel that are under 18 years old, we decided just to comment on this topic as an overall way. In this section of the interview, Washio said that it's always been a concern of the production team to not add any scene that would be inappropriate for children. They take a lot of care in transformation scenes and also in the costumes of the girls so that nothing inappropriate would be revealed. And they also pay attention to the battle scenes as well, because since they act a lot, they're very active in those moments. Some shots might be revealing, so they pay extra attention to make nothing revealing at all. There was also some talk about swimsuits, which in the earlier days of Precure, it was not allowed. But then they noticed that children started paying attention to cuter swimsuits, and children themselves would like to see characters in swimsuits, so they added in certain seasons always thinking about the children and what they would like to see. And last, he also said that he cannot control the minds of the people who watch the show, but most adult fans of Precure have the same mindset of the production team for it to be a show, for it to be a story that would be totally appropriate for children and would not add anything inappropriate at all. Now that that's been taken care of, let's continue with the interview. The next question was, what other rules are there in the Precure series? And Washio-san answered, we do our best to eliminate deceptions that may have an undesirable effect on children. Dieting, for example, is a topic that may be of interest to the main character, a junior high school student. However, parents who watch with their children might want them to eat a lot and become healthy. Thus, we think it's better to remove any depictions that may contradict this. Also, in the action scenes, we try to avoid hitting people in the head or stomach. We want to let the children know that this is a dangerous thing when they imitate. In the interview, they talk about NG words, which probably means something like not good words. So the next question was, is there any NG words or non-desirable words? And they said, we try not to include things like because I'm a boy or because I'm a girl, which we talked about at the beginning. We also try to avoid abusive language. We are also very careful about the friend versus foe concept. Nishio-san said, the person you're facing also thinks that they are at the righteous side. The two sides have conflicting claims, which leads to battles, but it's better to be careful about expressing who is right or wrong. We would like to depict the main characters as always continuing to think about why and what they're standing up against. The next question is very interesting because it's about Cure Wing, and it is. The new series will feature a young boy, Cure Wing, the first boy Precure in the series history. Please tell us about his character design and his position in the series. Washio-san said, the motive of the new series is sky. The main color of each of them is weather themed, and the orange of Cure Wing is inspired by dusk. What they all have in common is that they are people who can work together. In the new series, there will be an 18-year-old new adult Precure, but we didn't want to portray them in a leadership position because they are boys or because they are older than the others. The next question was, the Precure series has continuously evolved with the times, but are there things that have not changed over the years? And they said, recently, people often tell us that the concept of the first generation, even girls want to rampage, was a liberation from gender norms. What we thought was even more important than that was the sentence that we wrote in the same proposal. Stand tall with determination on your own 2 feet. That was the root of Precure. To stand up to difficulties and not give up, even when you're knocked down or thrown back. Trusting your friends and forgiving others. This is the image of the hero that we want to continue to portray in Precure. I absolutely love those last few questions and answers. One, because they talk about Cure Wing and Cure Butterfly, 2 new additions to the Precure franchise. And it's interesting because we have our first adult Precure and also our first male Precure or boy Precure. And they specifically said that they didn't want to put them in a leadership position. They left it to Sky and Prism, or maybe just Sky in this case, because they fit the traditional role of Precure maybe. But the thing is, they're bringing something different to the franchise nonetheless. And even though they're not in leadership position, they are people that can work together. And that's very nice. Different people bringing their powers together to work together. And that is the answer of the last question. That was basically the message of Precure and how it's changed over the years. And I love the fact that they say that Precure has kept its core identity by adding a person that can stand on their own 2 feet. And the definition of Precure to Washio is stand tall with determination. Stand tall with your own 2 feet, with the power of your determination. I love this message, and I want to learn to apply it to my life. I really need it. And the power of friends, the power of people who are with me, they power me up and they power us up to be able to have our own determination, or as Manatsu would say, motivation, and stand up, stand strong, and face the adversities of life, because that is what Precure has always been teaching us. And those 20 years of this amazing franchise just show that the future is bright. But now let's enjoy the present and the amazing season that we're having, Hirogaru Sky Precure. Anyways, just want to take this time to thank Inu again for translating this. I really love taking this deep dive into the franchise and also learn a little bit more behind the scenes and behind the minds that create and keep Precure alive. And obviously, I also want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.